You have been a professional, becoming a real estate developer. How do you see that?
We come from a very trading kind of mindset. Other businesses are all in trade. We are structured to deal with the same person on a day in, day out basis. You are not doing one deal with the person, you're doing multiple deals. Whereas in real estate, the buyer and seller relationship generally is a one off or a two off, right? How many houses is a person ever going to buy? And how many houses is one person going to sell to the other person?
As a developer, what are the things that you're doing differently to address this?
Right from the first rupee that is expected from you till the last rupee before you get the keys from our hands, and even thereafter, we try to kind of give all the numbers up front as much as possible.
One learning that you got out of your years at States and working in that environment.
I came back with a lot of belief in my ability. I don't get scared looking at numbers, and that faith, that belief that it can be done if you think through it and if you put your head through it, is what I learned in the States.
What is one life lesson failure taught you that success never?
I've failed dramatically in my life. It's not that I've not failed. In fact, I would say failures have taught a lot more. And the one thing that I took away from my failures always was that, as I said, success is not the end of it. Failure is also not the end of it.
Hello and welcome to Get Real with Prasoon, the official podcast of Magicbricks. Real people, real stories, real conversations, real estate. We bring to you personalities from real estate and business at large who tell us stories that inspire us, who tell us stories that give us different perspectives, who tell us stories that are sometimes hard to believe, but yet at the same point of time become fodder for us to take that one more step ahead in life. Today's guest is a young entrepreneur. He can be described as an odd one out in the industry that he's operating in, because he literally did not start in this industry. He started quite late in the industry. He did something else in life before he got into the industry, but he has been very, very successful. Vikas Jain, the founder and CEO of Labdhi Lifestyles, which is a developer based out of Mumbai. He founded and led a company called Build Capital. He is also president of Narradco's Maharashtra Next Gen chapter. So a man wearing many hats. Labdhi, the company that he has founded, is becoming quite a significant player in Mumbai's skyline. They have delivered more than 22 projects and have delivered before time every time. Now, how rare is that? So let's have this conversation with this man and try to understand him, his thoughts, how he has been building Labdhi, what are the motivations and what are the things that are driving him, and how different a future he is going to create as a business leader. You have been a finance professional.
Yes.
You were in private equity.
Right.
You have been doing big deals, in States, which is the mecca of financial market.
Yes.
And now you are a developer.
Yes.
Building in India, in
Right.
Mumbai,
Right.
and a lot of projects over there.
Sure.
What is fundamentally different about Vikas, who was a finance expert, and Vikas, who is a developer?
Vikas, who is a developer, is getting a lot more gray hair, and it's not purely because of the field that he is in.
Okay.
But it's because of years of more maturity. Because as a financier, earlier in the early part of life, was a late 20-year-old, very different kind of energy, very different kind of view of life. And Vikas as a developer started only in the mid 30s. My real estate journey just started about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And my finance journey was where I actually really started life. So for me also, the perspectives in life is very different because of my point in time. But quite honestly, when you're looking at private equity, and I was fortunate enough to be on both sides of billion-dollar deals, the sophistication is very, very different. The expectations are very different. The people sitting on the table are coming with a lot more knowledge, a lot more information, and a lot more abilities also, if I may say that. In a different context and a different frame. Whereas as a real estate developer, while a lot of those skills have to be brought to play, in terms of how to structure a product, how to have data actually be the driver rather than have emotions decide how the project should look like, or not a gut feel drive, not gut feel kind of take and call on that. In reality, the about 30% of the job is very, very different. I mean, it's 30% of the job is actually a real estate developer has to go through roughly about 40 odd government departments to kind of get a project through. Has to manage finances in a country like India, where real estate finance is still, I would say, still requires a couple of baptisms to kind of reach to where it should be, and to kind of reflect the true nature of the market.
Mm-hmm.
And add to that our belief that we tend to do everything in house. We tend to run a tight control ship that way. So yes, I had to learn
how. Genesis of finance guy. Running a tight control ship.
Yeah, I had to learn how to sell.
I don't know how many CFOs have told me that.
It's a cliche, I'm sure, but it's a well-deserved cliche because that's something that's very, very critical.
Yeah.
But then you have to as a real estate developer, I'm wearing 20 hats in a day, whereas as a private equity professional,
so it's definitely more complicated.
Complicated is maybe one way of looking at it, but it requires a lot of different skill sets. So it's varied, I would say, rather than saying complicated. It might be easy to do, but I need to sell, I need to build, I need to get it approved, I need to finance, and oh, by the way,
you have been enjoying yourself more. You enjoy yourself more as a professional, or you're enjoying yourself more as an entrepreneur now?
So entrepreneur, obviously, I think come from a family of entrepreneurs. I would say entrepreneurship was kind of running through my veins. Okay. But learned a lot when I was a professional. I had some brilliant bosses. People who I reported to, people who I looked upon, and people who taught me a lot. And it's because of those early learnings in my life, I was able to kind of bring my entrepreneurial journey. I was able to accelerate my entrepreneurial journey a little bit better.
So I wanted to ask this: how does it feel to be a professional wearing a developer's hat? Because in this industry, one is not known to be running a very professional ship, and I'm talking from a consumer's perspective, right? You do not see that. Literally, it's supposed to be a very owner-driven. Most of the companies are supposed to be very owner-driven companies, and you don't have too much. You have been a professional now. Sure. Coming into becoming a real estate developer.
Sure.
How do you see that?
So I must tell you one thing about Labdhi. There's only one person from the family in the entire organization, and we have close to 120 employees working for for the company.
Okay.
And there's only me. Who has both the ownership and management hats. That's been our journey right throughout.
Has it been a conscious decision?
It's a very, very conscious decision. And part of it stems from the fact that we come from a very trading kind of mindset. Our other businesses are all in trade.
Okay.
Where we are structured to deal with the same person on a day in, day out basis, right? I mean, you are not doing one deal with the person, you're doing multiple deals.
Yeah.
Whereas in real estate, the buyer and seller relationship generally is a one-off or a two-off, right? I mean, how many houses is a person ever going to buy?
Correct.
And how many houses is one person going to sell to the other person? I mean, one brand going to sell to the other person, right? So we were brought up in a relationship environment, a relationship-rich environment, something that, because I have to deal with you every day, then I have to be very, very clear, very, very transparent, and very, very, let's say, upfront with all my expectations. And we brought that thought process in our real estate business. We had a tough time, finding the right people to kind of reflect that ethos. But now we have a good core of team, and for us, the philosophy actually stays true. Because while we are also into transactions, because ultimately we do have to sell. Our belief and our we promise what we can deliver, and we've always delivered more than what we've promised.
So we'll come to business things.
Yes.
But quite interesting to know what is the kind of background that you have. You say you come from business background.
Right.
What has been your family background?
So my family is into trade. We trade. We were financiers. We had electrical product distribution as one of our businesses.
Okay.
And gold ornaments and jewelry as one of our other businesses also. As a group, as family, and it's a very traditional Marwadi family.
Business में कभी आपको interest नहीं किया?
नहीं. And my father was always
the biggest jeweler of India.
Not at all. It was not my calling, I must say that. So these were held very very differently. My father, actually, professionally speaking, he was a financial advisor to very large infrastructure companies in India.
Okay.
But in reality, most of these businesses, my father was an investor, and he he would be the chairman of the board of directors. He would play that role essentially, although it was not structured that way.
Okay.
And over a long period of time, over the last 20-25 years, now we've kind of whittled down our cross holdings and our other business interests, and now our family's primarily into real estate and real estate finance.
Okay.
So that's what we do now.
Okay. No wonder you chose finance as a stream, or you liked finance as a stream from the very beginning. You have always.
I mean, I could give you some cliched answers.
That
That was my surrounding, and I can give you some cliched answers about me being a Marwadi and finance kind of being second nature. Yes. But in reality, numbers always appeal to me.
Yeah.
I'm and that's a trait that I've carried.
I know quite a few Marwadis who are very good creative guys.
That they are. So and real estate allows you to be both at the same time. But yes. I must say that I like my numbers. I understand my numbers much better, and that's my background too. So
when you're growing up, therefore, in this environment where you had this family business diversified of in a way, what was your mindset? What was your thinking as a growing up teenager? Did you ever look at it as this is a legacy that I have to carry forward? It's my family business, or I want to chart my own path, or they do want to do something else, or that let life easy. We are doing well. Why to stress much? How was your upbringing?
So I must say, I cannot answer this question without actually letting you know how my father brought me up, professionally speaking. I mean, personally, he's always been there. He's there today also. He's my backstop, both emotionally, professionally, spiritually, the whole 9 yards. But the day I turned 18, literally. In fact, the day I turned 18 plus 2 months, because in those 2 months, my friend turned 18, who was also my cousin.
Okay.
He started a company in our name.
Okay.
And our first company was essentially something that he gave me. He told us that he wanted to buy a certain kind of cable into India. And this cousin and friend of mine and me would be doing the grunt work. So we were staying in the southern part of Mumbai. And our godowns and our factories, and our godowns essentially were all in Bhiwandi, which is roughly about 100 kilometers from where we were staying. And my father, at the age of 18, our job essentially was to go to this godown three days a week, count boxes, count the weightage that's written in 3-digit decimal points, and make sure that all the boxes that are getting delivered, we have the count correct to up to the 3rd digit in decimal points. Wow. And these are boxes which were weighing 15-16 kgs, we were not talking about tons. And you're doing tons of those every day. So, I mean, we're looking at 150 boxes, 200 boxes. Yeah. This is all handwritten, no Excel at that point in time, because we were sitting in the middle of nowhere, not a lot of laptops, not a lot of things. And I must say that my father, actually, one of the most important things that my father has done for me in my life, and I believe that, is he's given me the ability to fail. He's never pressed upon me what his vision of profession or personal life was. And when I told him that I wanted to choose path A versus path B, he never actually said one way or the other. He just supported me. I failed in businesses in my life, and I failed dramatically, I would say. And he's been there for me. And I would say my one of the biggest attributes to my success is the fact that he's given me that cushion to think freely, and at the same time take these logical leaps that I keep talking about. And
so one side of upbringing has been, say, to that extent, you were being groomed for a certain kind of outlook towards business and how to handle things in life. And but as a teenager, and when you are 18 and you're 19, you just want to break free, and you want to kind of do things that that are out of the textbook.
Right.
Did you have those feelings? Did you do anything like that?
Oh yeah, I was so my father would not, so other than these small activities that he would ask us to do, he would not ask us to report to work every day.
Okay.
So he said, no, that's not your job. You have a particular activity, you're going to take care of that activity.
Okay.
The rest is going to be managed. So I was not doing accounts, I was not doing finance, I was just doing, so this was his way of grinding us. I was just doing the grunt work of delivering. But then in college, I was a very, very different chap. I mean, I was very, very active in performing arts. Like you say, a lot of Marwadis are very creative. For 3 years running, I was the best actor in my college.
Wow.
And we did. I performed one act plays. I led my college through a lot of intercollegiate events.
Okay.
And I enjoyed my college life, and that also, everything adds to you, right? I mean, your journey is your journey, and every destination, every path and every bend will add to your character and personality. And this is my ability to be effervescent and make friends and understand people actually came up to be in college.
Okay.
I was a very, very studious, quiet kind of guy in my school, but college, changed a lot for me.
The brand has a theme which is called Pata Badlo, Life Badlo, right? We believe that a change of address can actually change your life.
It does, yeah.
And in your case, for example, you went from here, there's certain environment you grew up, you went abroad, after that for your further studies. And then, so what was the thinking there? How did that journey change you? How did landing in somewhere else, change you as a person and your outlook towards how you had learned business back here through your dad and through everything else that you observed and what you're seeing out there? What was that change of perspective?
I must say, the Pata Badlo, Life Badlo happened to me at least 3 times in my life.
Is it?
The first time when I entered HR college, and from a Jesuit institution, very, very quiet, school, very, very studious, and I suddenly, academics was there, but other things also gained as much traction.
Okay.
The second time it happened when I went abroad. Okay. We lived a very sheltered life, I must say. Always with the family, very, food is cooked for you,
Sure.
Clothes are taken care of, and one fine day you land up at in United States, and you're living a student life. And everything changes. Your perspective changes in life as to what needs to be done, and how you can grow through it and understand and learn from it. The third time it happened, when I came back to India, quite honestly, and this is where the US journey for me actually, I'll be able to bring the dichotomy out very, very differently. Because my formative years were in the States. I was 23 years old when I went there, 25 when I got my first job. And then we did that for about 5 years. So, my entire professional way of thinking, my mentored years, my first years were there. And they were in finance.
Okay.
I was working for some of the best institutions of the world, and working with the best minds of the world at that point in time. Quite honestly, I was reporting to a person who was the chairman of Morgan Stanley worldwide at that point in time. And that, just being with him, just listening to him, his perspectives, changes everything. So that was my Pata Badlo, Life Badlo. When I came back to India, remember this, I came back to India in 2009 or 10, I think. Okay. And at that time, India was still just going through its its second wave of coming and growing, and the professionalism was creeping in. And I must say I was an ill fit for the first business that I did. My first business in India was infrastructure development.
Okay.
While I learned a lot from it, but
from finance to infrastructure development.
Yeah.
I mean, why did you do that?
Well, the idea was actually to do infrastructure finance, and if you know anything around 2009, 2010, the world was in the doldrums after the Lehman Brothers crisis. Correct. And the subprime crisis in the United States. Yes. However, India was doing brilliantly well, right? Because India was still growing.
You're insulated a lot.
We were insulated. We were beating all kind of numbers, and that exuberance did not allow me to be a winner in BOT projects. I wanted to do infrastructure financing, where I tied up with a couple of infrastructure companies. They would build the road, I would finance the road, we'd figure out a way to do it together. BOT projects were just coming about, and we bid for a lot of projects, but we never won any because clearly we were not as aggressive as the market was, and thankfully so, because a couple of years later, when inflation really started kicking in high gear, most of those companies went out of business, and we were lucky from that perspective. Sometimes the paths that you don't take actually make your life rather than the paths that you take. And infra, but at the same time, because I spent a year and a half trying to do this, I'd built a lot of EPC knowledge. I'd be a basic contractor rather than a BOT contractor. So we thought we'll do an engineer, procure, and commission kind of product. Okay. Where we would just, we'd build something for the government for money rather than us financing it. Gained a lot of traction on that, had met with the right people, had the right connections, so was able to kind of, do some very interesting things. We built a bridge on a creek in my short 5-6 years that I dedicated myself to infrastructure. I was able to build a jail in Goa.
You still travel over that bridge?
I do. Yeah. Every time I go to Rajasthan, I have to travel.
How is the feeling?
I pray. But yeah, I built a jail in Goa, which always gets me very odd looks. And yes, I was the guy who did that. We built a greenfield project there. We built a few bridges. We built a national highway too. And
If you have to tell me one learning that you got out of your years at States and working in that environment, what is the one learning you came back with?
So one learning that I came back from States, you mean? I came back with a lot of belief in my ability, I don't get scared looking at numbers, and that faith, that belief that it can be done if you think through it and if you put your head to it, is what I learned in the States. When as a 27-year-old guy, I was, it was a 2-member team, and I was advising a CEO of a $1 billion company who was trying to acquire another $1 billion company, and we were the financiers and the consultants on that. And again, got lucky because it was during the Christmas break at that point in time. Nobody was in office. I was the only guy because clearly an Indian, why would I take a Christmas break? I was the one holding fort, and the deal came through. And when the deal comes through, whoever's there gets staffed. And it was pure sheer dumb luck that I was the only guy available in office, and I got dragged along. And for the next 7-10 days, when the principal work of the deal was done, I was the only junior banker on the deal.
Okay.
Now, because of that, and because I could pull that off, the ability that, or rather, the belief in the ability was much higher. I could speak to my bosses where I needed help. I got the guidance, and then I was able to deliver what was expected out of me.
Okay.
And that has stayed with me right throughout my life. Even today, 15 years hence, 20 years hence, I don't get scared either with numbers or by the size of the target, rather. And that's okay for me. I mean, I can think through it. I don't. I'm not stupid. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not trying to take bets. But I do like to think through things, and I have the ability to kind of do that.
And now you're a developer.
Now I'm a developer.
You have achieved quite a lot at a very young age, and you are quite a young developer.
Thank you.
So I must ask you therefore this question: why do developers face trust deficit?
I think through this a lot, actually, and I think it's a two-way street. If I leave the intent aspect of it outside, just look at it from a plain vanilla standpoint, right? Here is a buyer who's going to make the biggest decision of his life. Okay. And I would say, and having experiences, we're dealing with almost 3,000 of them over the last 10 years, 2,500 of them over the last 10 years. About 90% of the buyers really don't know what to look at. They're so focused on a couple of things, be it pricing or be it something, other things that might be impactful for them, that they don't see the whole picture. Now, clearly, I'm taking a vast stroke here, where I'm saying that the intention is right on all parts, on the developer's part also. Where intention is an issue, I mean, there's no structure that can help you. But if the intention is correct, even on the developer's part or the buyer's part also, the flip of it is also true. There are so many details that if I went and sat down with a buyer and I explained all the details to him, he's going to be so overwhelmed that he's not going to buy. So for me, I'm also motivated in letting him know only that much that will help him decide whether he wants to buy or he doesn't want to buy. Now, obviously, RERA has brought a lot of transparency into the system. A lot is demanded, a lot is expected more. But yes, it's an evolution. It's not a revolution. It's not going to be we're going to burn the current system and try to build a new one. We are evolving as we speak. But the trust deficit actually comes from lack of information or lack of understanding of the information, rather than just from plain intent standpoint. When you get surprised, and you could get surprised because the other person did not let you know something, or maybe you've not understood it, and it could be on both sides, on the developer side also, and from the buyer side as well. When surprises happen, trust falls. If you are surprised lesser and lesser in a transaction, I think the trust would be higher and higher in my perspective. Overall, as an industry, we've always had this had a perception issue, partly because of what the industry has done over the last few years, and the impact that it has on a person's life. And if the home buying decision goes wrong, the person's family life gets thrown for a toss. if you buy a wrong jeans or a wrong T-shirt, I mean it's a 6 month problem pain. It's not that much.
Yeah.
And I think the industry can do a lot more. I think a lot of and now because of the new laws, because of the new statutes that are coming in, I think the industry is doing a lot more. But clearly, we can do a lot more still, even today, in terms of transparency.
Because buyers have not been given enough information, or is it because they have not understood enough information?
So information is not an issue. Knowledge is an issue. You can have reams and reams of data in front of you and not know how to make sense of it, and this is where the problem is. In fact, majority of the buyers.
Does that onus lie on developers?
They could take that onus, but quite honestly, when we are sitting on the opposite sides of the table, you need to do your homework and I need to do mine. I can present myself in the most transparent and utmost way, in the right spirit. But if you're not able to understand it, how am I going to help you on that one? So buyer beware in both sides, right?
Then at Labdhi, as a developer, what are the things that you're doing differently to address this problem?
So one of the first things that we make sure is that right from the first rupee that is expected from you till the last rupee before you get the keys from our hands, and even thereafter, we try to kind of give all the numbers up front as much as possible. We also make sure that the buyer understands how financings can be arranged and cannot be arranged. You have to understand that a lot of buyers, majority of the buyers that we deal with are looking at home loans to kind of finance the purchases. And we do that in-house. We have counselors for home finance, for loans in-house, and we guide buyers as to what
your own guys and not banks guys.
Yeah, these are our own guys, and their job is to make sure that the buyer gets multiple opportunities, or rather multiple options. Their job is not to sell the home loan.
Okay.
Their job is to create opportunities for the buyers to kind of choose lender A versus lender B.
Right.
And our job is to make sure that he or she understands what a lender A could bring to the table versus what a lender B brings to the table. So these are the two things that we have done utmost right from the start. And as an organization, we believe a lot in transparency. Our agreements were RERA compliant even before RERA came to play.
Okay.
So for us, once RERA came to play, compliances were very, very easy. We really didn't need to do much. Yes, we needed to do a little bit of structuring here and there based on what the structures that were given. But we, as an organization internally, also kind of function on same principles. So one of the principles that we did was we never took money out from one project and put it into another project.
Okay.
Until the project was over, we made sure that the money stayed inside the project.
Okay.
And we were very, very old school. We shunned away from a lot of bank debt. In fact, majority of our first initial projects, in fact, were all funded by us internally.
Okay.
And we shunned away completely from bank debt. We had zero bank debt on our company up until about a year ago, which is first 9 years of our existence. We had zero bank debt. And these were all conscious calls. We made sure that so the things that we've done in our life, and I don't know how your audience is going to take this, but in the last 10 years we've delivered about 1 million square feet. Every single apartment, every single building has been delivered before time, not on time. We've never been delayed, And,
yes, I read about that. All your projects have been delivered
before time. Every single project that we are currently working on is also ahead of time. And some of the conscious calls that we've taken.
But then it works out, right? Delivering before time is a better financial outcome, even for a developer.
Absolutely, no doubt about that, and for the buyer.
And buyer of course.
Yeah, if you delay the project by 1 year, the cost of the buy for the buyer goes up by almost 12 to 13%. And the buyer doesn't understand it. For all that he's agreeing.
Also has to bear cost of capital and everything.
Right. Sure, and it's on both sides. But let's take it only from the buyer standpoint right now. The developer has to bear a lot more than cost of capital, right? Cost of overheads, cost of marketing, cost of supporting the product, and by the way, he's also taking the risk of the materials, cost of materials going up, and so on and so forth. But if you look at it just from a buyer's perspective, a 1 year delay, just a 1 year delay, which apparently is not even frowned upon in our industry and in our country. Would increase the cost of buying by almost 10 to 11%. And whereas here we are delivering before time, and yet many times, unfortunately, our buyers are not able to see the value in that. In the long run, I'm sure the buyers will see value in that as to when they understand this, when the industry matures and goes to the next phase of it. And one of the things that we've done to achieve that is we've declubbed sales and construction on site. A lot of developers depend on sales very, very heavily to finance the construction. As I said, we've always looked at financing the construction and financing the sales, or rather the money received from sales very, very differently. Sometimes sales can ebb and flow. Market is market, and you have to kind of live with that. But because because we are very, very old school, and we look at our commitments very, very differently. We were able to deliver on time. We were able to deliver before time. In fact, the last project we delivered was delivered 21 months ahead of time, and we had an issue on the other end where the buyers were not ready to accept possession because it was a bit earlier than what we were expecting. Yes, I think beating it on the other side also is a problem sometimes. But so far our buyers now have begun to understand what the value of Labdhi is. If you can deliver before time, if you can deliver on time as well, that is about 9/10 of the problem.
You mentioned one interesting thing where you said that buyers are not able to see value of on-time delivery or early delivery, whereas we believe that that's the single most problem that buyers have of projects getting delayed, and that's all they want from a developer.
Yes.
So from a developer's perspective, then one is, why do you say that, right? And two is, therefore, what are buyers looking at?
So. And I'm going to say something which is going to be very, very controversial, I think, from here on. I think, at different points in time, the buyer's preferences change drastically. At the sales table, he wants the best price. When he's accepting delivery, he wants everything to be brilliant. And if the project, God forbid, gets delayed, then oh my God, then all hell breaks loose, and everything gets blamed on the system, on the developer, and so on and so forth. However, I must say that the buyers so far, and look, we deal at the affordable.
Unrelated issues, right?
No, but see, and I was going to say this. I was going to bring it home for you. We deal at the affordable end of the spectrum in terms of housing, and majority of my buyers, I must say, are very, very focused on just two things: how they're going to finance it and what is the price.
Right.
When my salespeople, we actually had this in a sales pitch where we try to explain what delivering on time and delivering before time, how that creates value. And 9 times out of 10, my salespeople came back to me and said, "Sir, उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, उसको सिर्फ भाव चाहिए, उसको बाकी कुछ नहीं चाहिए." And the affordable end is a little bit more price sensitive, and it's actually price inelastic because the moment you increase the price, the demand doesn't go up, the demand just evaporates. The capacity is not there. So while we did all of these things, clearly we built a brand for ourselves, and we were able to do bigger and better products, but we were not able to create value in the minds of the customer from that perspective. After delivery, yes, it helps.
But then, what are buyers looking for?
As I said, different things at different points in time. Quite honestly, I think what they're looking for
is it price or is it value?
I think the Indian buyer is very, very value conscious now, not just a price conscious buyer. And we're seeing this across spectrum, not just in real estate, but even in food, in other services, be it transport, travel, so on and so forth. However, the ability to understand value in real estate is slightly more complicated than any other product. The nature of the product is such. Now, the buyer needs to understand value from multiple different standpoints. And the seller has to do a fantastic job at explaining that as well. We beat our drums, making sure that our buyers understand that we deliver, because we deliver on time, before time, what kind of value it creates. But today maybe 5% of the buyers are understanding it, but I'm sure if you do it for long enough time, at some point in time, 95% of my buyers will understand this.
Okay.
And the value will come home on that one.
Okay. Yeah. You are also heading NAREDCO Maharashtra's
the next gen
chapter of that. How are you really seeing it? From an industry point of view, really, where do you think real estate is headed? And what should buyers actually look forward to? We are seeing pricing hardening. We are seeing kind of premiumization happening.
Sure.
Right. I mean, a lot of developers tell me that, listen, for example, in case of NCR, if you're really a budget buyer or a mid-segment buyer, you will not get anything in Del NCR. You'll have to go to a Merit or a Bulandshahr and those kind of things. If you're in MMR, you're not going to get anything in Navi Mumbai and Thane and Mumbai anymore. You have to move towards Dahisar or beyond that, and so on and so forth, right? So in that context, as an industry body chairman, how do you see this moving?
So one of the things that the buyers will is automatically happening. The buyers will see a lot more transparency, a lot more. The packaging of the product also is changing a lot. We are no longer just selling square foot on square foot basis.
Okay.
The industry overall has now understood the value of designing better lifestyles, for lack of a better term. And what actually in Mumbai at least what's happening, and the city is evolving rapidly, right? And the biggest catalyst of that is infrastructure. With almost 350 kilometers of metro coming in, the coastal road happening, the Atal Setu happening, the city is just kind of doubled or tripled in size just by these products. And the value unlocking that we keep hearing a lot about is happening at a grand scale. Now, for an example, and I am a firm believer of this, that Mumbai is no longer a single monolithic market. Mumbai is actually a consortium of 7-8 markets put together. You'd be able to get a 3 crore rupee 2 BHK in Borivali. And you'd be able to buy a 3 crore rupee 2 BHK in Vadala as well. The entire north-south divide of the city no longer exists. Earlier there was an adage where every kilometer you went south, you had 1,000.
Is becoming costlier or south is becoming cheaper?
No, it's all different markets now. There's no costlier or cheaper. There is a grade A product.
Affordability is becoming a problem, isn't it?
Well, affordability is a relative issue. Yes, in Mumbai, I think affordability starts at about 1 crore rupee. In majority of the markets in India, I think affordability ends at 40-50 lakh rupees, whereas Mumbai it starts at 1 crore. So Mumbai is a very different product from that perspective. However, you'd find a 1 crore rupee product in every micro market that we are talking about. You'll find a 1 crore rupee product in Vadala, which is close to South Mumbai.
Okay.
You'll find a 1 crore rupee product in Dahisar, which is absolute north of Mumbai. And so on and so forth. You'd find it in Thane, you'd find it across the board. But then in
just compromise space, that's about it.
Well, it's not just compromising space. It's a lot many more things. I mean, it's whether the building has amenities, if the building's location is near public transport, not near public transport, so on and so forth.
So space and lifestyle.
Space and lifestyle is what you'd be looking at. But then at the same time, in each of these markets, you'd find a premium product too. So in Borivali, there are products, as I was going to say, Borivali there are products where there are 3-4 crore rupee 2 BHKs, 3 BHKs also, which are selling right alongside 70, 80, 90 lakh rupee 1 BHKs, right next door to each other. And Mumbai surprises people a lot from that perspective. Two buildings could be separated by just a common wall, and one could be priced at 25,000 rupees a square feet, and the other one could be priced at 45,000 rupees a square feet. And Mumbaikars don't frown upon that. Absolutely, and Mumbaikars don't frown upon that at all.
Correct.
But now Mumbai is evolving into, in my opinion, about 7 or 8 different markets, and each market has its hero. Each market has its mainstay product, and each market has an affordable product.
Then, as a young developer, as a member of associations, what are the changes you would want to bring about? Real estate over the last couple of decades have had a certain way of operating itself, certain lack of certain kind of transparency or opaqueness has been there.
Right.
Buyers have had certain kind of issues, etc., right?
Sure.
It has had a certain kind of journey,
right?
What different journey you think next 20 years will be?
So I must tell you, it's a lot more data driven now than gut feel, and I think that the moment you say that, right, it manifests itself in multiple different ways. So, for example, we are doing a product in Vadala now, and literally just about a week ago, we've commissioned a study on what's happening in the market. And oh, by the way, this after us selling 400 apartments in this market just 3 years back. So we want to know what is happening today, not what we did 3 years back, and what worked 3 years ago might not work again today.
Yeah.
And because the new age developer, and I would like to call myself that because I only have a 10-year legacy in this industry. We tend to be a lot more data driven and customer centric than earlier, where a 2 BHK would be 650 square feet, and that was like a templatized version of doing certain things. Now each product comes with its own bells and whistles, and as I said, we don't just sell square foot for square foot basis. We try to create unique value propositions, quite honestly.
But a lot of consumers, when they look at developers and their lavish lifestyles, they would find it very, very difficult to believe that developers are actually, even next generation,
to
a large extent, is actually getting customer centric and so on and so forth, right? I mean, you see them, in all the Lamborghinis and Ferraris of the world, and splashing wealth everywhere. Is the part of the problem also perception? Therefore,
well,
is it how you conduct yourself publicly?
There's no.
I mean, Morgan Stanley CEO, for example, would not be flashing as much.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
No, I mean, I mean, the point is that
finances are flashy.
At that stature, there would be a certain kind of lifestyle, any which way would be there. That's right. But as a buyer, you look at developers, even small developers or mid-sized developers, and their lifestyle. A buyer would find it very difficult to believe that developers are actually becoming consumer-centric and not really looking at...
Being consumer-centric and doing well in your business are not opposite things.
They are not.
In fact, they're two sides of the same coin. Unless you be consumer-centric, I don't think you could really do well in your business. You'd go out of business.
I was trying to build it from the perspective of the deficit trust deficit.
So, if you're successful, I don't see any reason why you should not enjoy success in your own way, shape, and form. However you define your way of enjoying your success is. I would rather, I would rather kind of characterize myself, or rather the industry also, if I may speak for my industry, from the fact that if we are delivering what we are promising, and if you're making sure that we've been as transparent and as upfront as possible, then I've done my job in that transaction, in that relationship. What I gain out of it, how I gain out of it, and how I enjoy my wealth and my success, I think is more of my it's more for me. However, the problem happens where you see these images, and again, it's a perception issue of a developer enjoying a lavish lifestyle, but not able to complete a project because of XYZ issues. That problem exists not just in real estate; it exists elsewhere too. We not very far away in India, we saw a very famous lifestyle tycoon kind of leave the country and go to another country because of a perception issue. And that happens, and perception matters a lot.
And that it's important to control that as well.
It is, but we're too many of us, and each his own. I don't think I think if the same buyer felt that his house was delivered, and then the developer is enjoying his lifestyle the way he or she might decide, I don't think so you would have an issue on that. But the problem happens when and some of this is pure perception, some of this is pure stigma of the industry, right? And it's very easy to paint one side in a particular color.
A developer has to be a juggler, and there are many things that you have to juggle in between.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not an easy job.
It is not, absolutely.
To begin with, there are many things to deal with. There are many challenges,
right?
Per se. So you have been a finance guy and you have dealt with PE. You have looked at big ticket investments.
Sure.
Operated in the most cutthroat market of the world. Over there.
Yes.
Now you are a developer.
Right.
What is it that keeps you grounded then? Are you spiritual at some level? What is it that keeps you grounded and look at, from everything from a perspective which is a outsider perspective, outside-in perspective, and therefore?
So reality is that our upbringing was very had played a fantastic role in that. I still remember my grandmom telling me stories about how difficult it was for my grandfather, who was the first generation person to move out of the village, come to the city. Did even odd jobs, like he was a house help to start with. And when you hear those stories and you know where you're coming from, it's just second nature to be grounded. You don't. I mean, while yes, I do. I must say I do enjoy my success. I wouldn't shy away from that. But I know that that's not what defines me. I know I would rather be defined by the promises that I make. Hopefully, I'm so far been blessed that I can keep up to those promises.
Okay.
Don't for a minute also don't think that as I said that all of that goes and you start high flying. But if you know where you're coming from, if you know your roots and your basics, I think it's easy to be grounded.
So I think this podcast is going rather serious right now. We're discussing a lot business.
Yeah.
So let me take some break here.
Sure.
We'll do something which is called rapid fire.
Okay.
Right? And I'll have rapid fire questions for you. What's the one bit brutal truth about success that no one tells you as a young one?
That's not the end.
Okay, well said. If you had to choose one habit that created most of your success, what would that be?
I think sincerity. I think discipline with my work. That's what brings my success. I mean, and the ability to kind of just morph myself when required. Yeah.
Okay. What's one mistake that destroys most entrepreneurs before they succeed?
I think people don't believe that they'll succeed, and then the self-belief actually that I mean, you need to throw caution to wind sometimes, and you need to take that leap of faith. But then at the same time, make sure that you've done all that you can.
Entrepreneurs have to take leap of faith all the time.
Exactly. When there's a little bit circumspect in their mind when they're taking that logical leap of faith, that's when they fall. In my opinion, you need to believe and then take the leap of faith. Otherwise, it never happens.
Okay. In one line, what separates winners from everyone else?
Belief, nothing else. Absolutely. I think we have all have 2 hands, 2 legs, 1 brain, 2 eyes. I've learned the hard way in my own self, and I've seen also, of all the people that I look up to, admire. And they tell you time and again, it's belief. It's belief in yourself. If you do that, if you believe, then you're there 90%. There's 10%. There's luck. There's fate also. I'm a strong believer in karma as well. But yes, belief is where the 90% of it starts.
Okay. So, if money disappeared tomorrow, what would still drive you to work with?
I don't think I define my success from money. I have goals in mind, which are not financial,
but that's the reality, isn't it?
It is a reality. I'm there to make money. It's a profession for me. It's a vocation for me. And
I think what it means is, apart from money, what drives?
I did not understand this before I got into the business, but when I saw, trust me, and it's going to be very, very cliched. When you see that smile on the face when somebody's house gets delivered,
really?
Yeah, it's as cliched as it gets. But every time.
But you know what? Only developers say this. I've never heard a CEO of an automobile company say, when I give a key of a car, that smile makes my day. Nobody has said that, right?
Because
only developers who say it. Is it because there's a far more emotive payout product?
Absolutely,
yeah. and you are emotionally more involved in the product.
Absolutely. Well, we are, but it's more not from our side. It's actually from the buyer's side.
Because I talk to a lot of say second generation developers, and all of them take a lot of pride in that first project that they did on themselves.
Absolutely.
Themselves apart from their side to their father.
Absolutely.
And they are like, I was so emotionally involved in that still, it kind of hurts me that particular thing did not happen or that did not go right.
Sure.
So it's a lot of emotional involvement.
It is, and if you achieve that as a developer, then I think you're going to be successful. I think if you get emotionally involved with your product, because that's when you really will be able to create value. You'll be able to see it from a customer-centric perspective rather than just purely money perspective.
All right.
And actually, that'll make you a lot more money. Is what I believe.
Okay. So next one is, what is one life lesson failure taught you that success never taught?
It actually, humility. I've failed dramatically in my life. It's not that I've not failed. In fact, I would say, my failures have taught me a lot more. And the one thing that I took away from my failures always was that, as I said, success is not the end of it. Failure is also not the end of it. But yeah, failure teaches you a lot more than success.
What is one belief about business that you completely disagree with?
That I completely disagree with. It's my belief or just general belief about
one belief about business that in general either you would have encountered or it might have been your personal belief about business.
So this is actually a lot of people deal in or. Either this will happen or that will happen, and I don't believe.
So the binary.
I think that or approach actually for me is a little bit difficult sometimes, and I believe more in and maybe we can do this and that and figure out a way to achieve both. And there are up to an amount of ways that I can explain that to you, but reality is.
Trade-offs are reality, isn't it? I mean, you have to trade off at some point of time. This for that or this, it's a reality of life.
Trade-off.
Nothing wrong with that.
Trade-off does not mean one for the other only. It can be it can be crafted in a way where it could still be a win-win. And I'm not talking just from a buyer builder perspective, but there's so many other trade-offs. Be it quality and cost, be it cost of finance and cost of and financial closure, peace of mind. A lot of those things. Right? There are a lot of decisions that we have to take. And a lot of people believe that it's always an or decision, not an and decision. And I believe if I don't believe that that's or. I mean, I believe that there are ways to make that or into an and.
Also, and the last one is if your daughters remember only one value that you taught them, what should that be?
Integrity. Own up. Whatever you do, make a mistake, own up. you do something good for yourself, own up to that as well. And don't ever be and hopefully I'll be able to teach them. They're both teenagers now, and I'm going, like any other father, I'm also going through the same hell that anybody else would be going with two teenagers. But if I can teach them, and I'm trying really hard, and me and my wife both are trying really hard to teach them this, that not to be afraid of what they feel, not to be afraid of what they believe in, and never be sorry for their feelings. So if I can teach them that and be true to themselves, I think I've done my job. That's just up to it. Yeah.
So that's well said. Good rapid fire. आपकी लाइफ में आपके डॉटर्स का काफी इन्फ्लुएंस है, आपके पेरेंट्स का इन्फ्लुएंस है, डॉटर्स ने भी आपको काफी इन्फ्लुएंस किया है. व्हाट इज इट दैट दे हैव टॉट यू? उन्होंने क्या सिखाया?
पेशेंस. दिस इज वो जवाब के लिए मुझे दोबारा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. पेशेंस कोई नहीं सिखा पाया, उन्होंने सिखा दिया. अच्छा. आई हैव नेवर बीन अ पेशेंट मैन इन माय लाइफ, बट my daughters have grinded patience into me in a very different way.
But अगर अपने daughters को आप as consumers देखोगे, the next generation consumer, there must be Gen Alpha or something like that, right?
हाँ, right.
तो अगर आप उनको as a consumer देखोगे, हाँ, तो आपको क्या लगता है as an entrepreneur आप क्या different करोगे उस consumer को target करने के लिए?
अब बहुत अलग है उनकी सोच. वो जिस तरीके से consume करते हैं कोई चीज को, कोई information को, be it a thing, be it information, वो उनका process करने का तरीका बहुत बहुत अलग है. क्वाइट ऑनेस्टली मैं समझने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. ऐसा नहीं कह सकता कि मैं उनकी जनरेशन को समझ पाया हूँ. स्पेशली अब आज की जो 20-22 साल 25 साल के जो बच्चे हैं, वो इतना जल्दी रूट्स डालना नहीं चाहते अपनी लाइफ में. दे डोंट वांट टू बी एंकर्ड टू अ प्लेस. वो ये समझें कि वो अपनी लाइफ में मोबिलिटी चाहते हैं. उनको नहीं पता कि उनकी नेक्स्ट जॉब कौन से सिटी में होगी. दैट मोबिलिटी इज चेंजिंग. उस पर बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट है रियल एस्टेट के डिसीजन पे. उसमें जब तक वो मोबिलिटी चेंज नहीं हो जाती, जब तक वो लाइफ के एक दूसरे स्टेज पे नहीं पहुंच जाते जहाँ पे शायद बच्चे हो जाए. शादी इज आल्सो नॉट दैट स्टेज. आई मीन व्हेन किड्स हैपन, मे बी दैट्स व्हेन दैट स्टेज एंड दैट एंकर वुड हैपन. सो इन बिटवीन दैट वो 10 साल के लिए, जो 25 से 35 साल की जो उम्र है, वहां पे रियल एस्टेट एज अ सर्विस वाला जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, जहाँ पे आप रियल एस्टेट को कोट एंड कोट सब्सक्राइब कर पाएंगे. आई थिंक दैट इज गोइंग टू हैपन. दैट्स ऑलरेडी हैपनिंग इन अ वे. इंडिया में रेसिडेंशियल रियल एस्टेट फॉर लीजिंग या टू बिल्ड रेसिडेंशियल रियल एस्टेट फॉर लीजिंग जैसा कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं है. मल्टी फैमिली रेंटल हाउसिंग जिसको बोलते हैं, वो इंडिया में अवेलेबल नहीं है. पूरे वर्ल्ड में बहुत जगह अवेलेबल है. इनफैक्ट दैट इज ऑल्सो दैट इज अ प्राइमरी पीस ऑफ द मार्केट. अब इंडिया में भी ये धीरे धीरे आएगा, बिकॉज यू विल फाइंड दैट ये जो पॉपुलेशन है, ये जो एज की पॉपुलेशन, दे वुड लाइक टू प्रेफर टू रेंट बिफोर दे बाय, बिकॉज देयर लाइफ इज सच इन दैट डायरेक्शन. Whereas majority of my school friends are in the same school, same fraternity, same areas, same city. हाँ, सबसे पहले घर खरीदना है. वो जो सोच थी ना, वो बहुत अलग थी.
Right. Because how do you generally unwind yourself?
I enjoy a drink every once in a while, but on a longer basis, I like being outdoors a lot. I enjoy being in the mountains. I've done a fair amount of treks in my life, and I think I want to add more to it. In fact, due to COVID, there was a break in that, and after that, I could not pick it up again. And last year, I picked it up again, and hopefully this year again, I'll get to do a couple of more interesting treks in my life.
I'm also told you have been to base camp of Himalaya.
Yes, I've done Everest Base Camp. I've done Annapurna Base Camp. I'm hoping to do Kilimanjaro this year. Okay. And I'm hoping to do Kedarnath this year. So if बुलावा होगा तो इस बार केदारनाथ जरूर करना है. So yeah, that's the target for the year.
और मैंने भी सुना कि आप और rather पढ़ा कि आप foodie हैं.
Oh yeah.
Right? You love food. Right?
Yes.
Any particular cuisine you like more, or is it
everything?
Experiment a lot and
everything.
Being a Marwadi, you have to have a certain taste, right? Marwadis have very particular taste about food. I've never seen a Marwadi being very experimentative about food. You are the first one I'm meeting.
Arey, I'm born and brought up in Mumbai, na. So, bhaiya, we're more Mumbaikar than Mumbaikar is in equal measure as Marwadi is. So the vada pavs have to be there. In fact, you'd be surprised. I got out of the station. I saw Jumbo King, and I was like, "हाँ, ठीक है. अब दिल्ली में भी vada pav मिलने लगे." From that perspective. But
not the same.
Clearly not the
vada
same.
Pav that I have eaten in Khabakars in
वो वड़ा पाव नहीं है सर. आप जो यहाँ पे जो जम्मू
पाव का डिफरेंस है.
Pardon my language, but जो एक ठेले का वड़ा पाव है, वो कोई शायद ब्रांड वो नहीं बना सकता. ये मेरा बिलीफ है.
And this is something as a foodie, tell me. I mean, I am also a foodie, and I have always wondered why street food of thela, okay, of a cart, tastes so good, as against whatever chef you can bring, out of any part of the world and ask him to cook.
Is it you or is it the vada pav? I think it's you more than the vada
I
pav.
don't know whether it's me reacting to that, or is it the taste really, because
True.
I feel the taste, right, and I see the taste being different.
So similarly in Delhi, right? I mean, अगर आप if you go to any of the markets in Delhi, वो जो रास्ते पे राजमा और वो भटूरा देते हैं, so that वो छोले भटूरा जो ब्रास वाले वो. So I love that too. So I will catch that on my way out. And I've called a couple of my friends anyway to meet me in the evening. So I'll probably catch that. But at the same time, I enjoy very, very fine foods too. I love my cheeses. I could tell you which cheese is which just because I've been exposed to that. I understand a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of wine as well. So my palate has been wide, and it's been wide because I've had a chance to travel the world,
right,
and because of that, my experiences with food is very different.
Any global cuisine you're fond of?
I like everything. I like Oriental as much as I like Italian, as much as I like even American for that matter. Mexican food is also brilliant. So I can't pick a favorite, but as I said, I like to enjoy all sorts of foods.
20 years down the line, when you hang your boots,
yes,
okay, or whenever you hang your boots,
sure.
How would you want to be known as, or what would you want to be known
as somebody who always delivered what he said he would deliver. Number one. Number two, I think I would like to be known as somebody who can think beyond the box.
Okay.
Who can think beyond the problem for that matter, not just the box, and who can devise solutions, who can devise ideas from that perspective, and somebody who's just fun to work with or fun to be with. I think for me that's important. I rather have people who are who I can impact positively, while the expectations are very high professionally. The numbers have to be there and all of वो तो सब कुछ है ही, but अगर मैं in the journey that we are together, if we are able to kind of impact each other positively, and if we are able to have fun. So
is there an ambition that is driving you there?
So the ambition is not just numbers. Yes, there are numbers in mind. We do have a business plan. We do have a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. In my mind, at least, there is there. If I've not written down on document or something like that. But I don't know if the numbers are driving the decisions. I don't know if the numbers alone are forcing us to think in one way or the other. If I can build the right system and the right capabilities, numbers will happen. That's an afterthought. The numbers will not happen because I want them to happen. I'll have to work for them. I'll have to create the systems. I'll have to build the right people. I have to build the right products, and I have to be a little lucky to kind of get there. But yes, as I said, I'm a very numbers focused guy. So yes, there are numbers in my mind also.
Sure.
We are approaching them very, very aggressively, and we'll see how. And the problem is they keep changing here.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
And goals of life also keep changing, right?
Sure.
Wonderful. I mean, and legacy being the journey, and legacy being the people that have crossed your path, and them remembering you in a certain manner is a beautiful, beautiful thought. And I'm so privileged to have had this conversation with you, and got to know so much. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.